Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Case file number 1358, written by InfectedNeedle. My entire reality was shattered on K-10. When my friend and I were in high school, we saw a massive, flying, unidentifiable object. I can't even think about it without my eyes watering, because it hits a deep, deep existential fear of the unknown in me. So here's the story as I write while blinking away tears. We were driving on K-10 to Topeka late on a clear night with a bright moon. Car trips are uneventful, hardly anyone on the highway as it's like 1 a.m. Anyways, at some point during the drive, I looked to my right out the passenger window, and about 300 meters off the highway above the tree line next to the highway floating maybe 100 meters off the ground is a massive black triangle. It looked like 3 approximately 60-foot beams or poles connected to form a triangle. Inlaid in the triangle were flashing lights of different colors, red, green, yellow, white, etc. I told my friend to look. I was terrified. When your reality very clearly and objectively does not fit what reality is supposed to be, for me at least, caused some kind of dread I can't even explain. The entire time we drove past it, it stayed exactly in one spot, hovering, making no noise, but there was something about it that made me feel like some part of it held an intellect akin to our own. I was too scared to record it, even though my friend driving urged me to. When I told him I didn't want to film it because I didn't want to interact with it, if that makes sense. Potentially earning the ire of some freaking unknown alien or extra-dimensional intelligence that clearly hides itself? Frick that. Eventually it was no longer visible behind the trees, and I breathed a sigh of relief it didn't follow us. I regret not recording it immensely. Case notes file 1358. My entire reality was shattered on K-10. Survival instincts kicked in not recording it. Always listen to your gut. I'll never stop hammering that point in. I think aliens are here, but I also think, given the various descriptions of ship types, that there's more than one species around. It's even possible some are hostile and others are benevolent or neutral, and don't let the other species interact as much. There could even be rogue agents within a certain species, just like we aren't a collective. There's good people and bad people and mad scientists. Maybe that is a case for aliens too. They're not necessarily the Borg, all of one mind. Something about the triangle ship evokes in me the same irrational, or I guess rather a fear I can't put into words. And that's just from reading the stories and seeing it through my mind's eye, what I imagine it or what the AI generator can muster up. It's very deeply disturbing indeed. Case file number 1359, written by Occam's Broadsword. I knew my family was in danger. When I was about 7, my older brother and my dad were leaving to drive from our home down to our grandparents about 600 miles away. I remember them preparing for the trip and packing the pickup. About half an hour before they left, I got really upset and had this overwhelming sense that they were going to crash on the trip. I told them not to go and that they were going to crash. I told them this several times and started full-on crying about it. Eventually, my mom calmed me down with some ice cream and they left. About 400 miles into the trip, a pickup and trailer pulled out in front of them, and to avoid crashing, my dad had to go into the ditch. Everyone made it out okay, thankfully, and with minimal damage. Everyone in my family makes that same drive several times a year. We drive a lot as a family. I've never been in a car wreck. Nobody in my family has been in a car wreck. I have never been upset when my dad or older brother left on trips before, nor have I since. I was always a mama's boy, but that day I just knew something bad was going to happen, and it turned out to be sorta right. Can't explain it. Case notes file 1359. I knew my family was in danger. Calming you down with ice cream is just so random and funny to me, especially given that it would have worked on me too. Children. We were simple creatures back then. Heck, it'd work on me today as an adult, so hey. I wonder how your parents reacted after the fact. It wasn't a full-on crash, but surely they must have thought you had something special going on. Or I guess maybe they were just like normal people, right? Unwilling to consider it as anything more than a coincidence, because why would you possibly think there's more to the world than meets the eye? Can't allow that. Case file number 1360, written by Anonymous. The Onslaught of Glitches. The big story that scares both of us is one day, my wife and I were desperately trying to find our window AC unit's remote control to make the living room cooler. We were both searching and decided to check under the couch together. Right as I was about to turn on the flashlight on my phone, a friend called and I picked it up, and he said he was outside, so I immediately left the apartment to go downstairs and say hey. The creepy part is that my wife swears upon the stars that instead of me getting that phone call when I did in my reality, in hers, I turned the flashlight on, looked under the couch with her, and we found it together and celebrated. Then my friend called and I went outside. When I, the real me, came back in, I saw the air was running, so I asked her where the controller was. She gave me an annoyed look and was like, "What do you mean where was it? You're the one that helped me find it just now a few minutes ago." I'm sure I probably went completely white as I explained to her that no, I received that phone call sooner than she is claiming, and was outside with my friend the entire time. I even showed her the call log timestamp. She's the one that went white, and she swears on her freaking life that I helped her find the remote and didn't go outside or get the phone call until after we celebrated finding it. We were both so creeped out and confused that we had to stop talking about it. It was making both our hairs stand on ends and getting goosebumps and felt like we were losing our minds or something. We were both adamant that the reality we individually experienced is the real one. So neither of us know who that person was that looked and acted just like me, while I was actually outside the entire time. Definitely some sort of scary glitch. After that, we each had a handful of other terrifying glitches happen to us both, separately, and together not long after this experience, but they stopped after a few days. It was like we messed up the programming, or due to that, one glitches caused like a butterfly effect of more glitches, until the universe settled back into where everything should be for everyone. Case Notes File 1360. The Onslaught of Glitches. It's that confluence of glitches you described after that sends light bulbs in my mind. Is this part of where the original multiverse glitch happens? Some kind of space-time portal is involved in separating you two temporarily, so you're occupying different worlds. But then when restored, one or both of your code was corrupted. Not until it was fixed did those other glitches cease. It's a very interesting theory, but of course very disturbing too. If you're involved in some space-time event, maybe take things lightly because maybe your code isn't properly restored after the teleportation. Now time for the quote of the day. Life begins the same way it ends, in nothing. Me. I was thinking about this the other day, and if you think about it, before you're born, you don't exist. You're floating in this abstract void of emptiness, of nothing, pure nothing. And then when you die, you return exactly to the same place, in nothing. You just don't exist. So if you emerged from nothing, you were born to exist now from nothing, then presumably it's possible, maybe not guaranteed, but possible, logically, that when you die, you can re-emerge just like that. And this is, discounting the idea of heaven, hell, religious afterlife, and the simulation. If all that isn't true, you just die, and now you're in this empty void of nothingness. You don't exist. But then there could be a spark, and now you exist. Just like it already happened. So why couldn't it happen again? It's basically reincarnation without a directed purpose, but you could just re-emerge. Hopefully only as humans, but maybe as an alien in a distant galaxy, or as an animal. I don't know. Whatever could have a soul, I guess. I find that very comforting, in a way. Because I love life. I love the game. I don't want it to just end. Not necessarily that I'm afraid of it ending, more that it just would suck, because life is great. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Kinetic Symphony, signing off.